the old and tired Patrick Chinamasa has decided to pick the wrong side, and he is actually deepening himself into the faction of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, spewing venom against the retired General Chiwenga. He was speaking this whilst he was in Mutare Inter-District meeting, a meeting that was held barely a day after the Zanu PF Central Committee meeting. In that particular meeting, Patrick Chinamasa launched missiles at retired General Chiwenga, said highly provocative words to retired General Chiwenga, which have been actually broadcasted by one of the radio stations owned by one of the Zanu PF also members, that is Super Mandiwanzi. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what? You become the very first one to watch us. So Patrick Chinamasa yesterday speaking at the Mutare Inter-District meeting, he said sentiments which obviously were directed to retired General Chiwenga, and addressing the people in Mutare, he said people should not allow any leader who wants to come and take over from Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa should be allowed to lead Zanu PF until he says he is tired. These were the words of Patrick Chinamasa. It did not only stop there. He said in Zanu PF, they are currently happy with Mnangagwa. They don't want another leader who will come, who will be divisive, who will seek to divide and destroy the party. Now, if he is saying so, who is another leader who is actually preparing himself to take over from Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa? It is none other than retired General Chiwenga, who is actually against the 2030 mantra, which is unconstitutional, by the way. That is why he finds himself begged even by the people of Zimbabwe. It is none other than retired General Chiwenga. So when Patrick Chinamasa says they don't want a divisive leader at the moment who will take over from Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, Mnangagwa must be allowed to lead until he gets tired and say so. Then they can talk of succession. Otherwise, people should not entertain succession, and otherwise, people should not entertain issues of elections within. In 2028, they won't. He is actually reiterating the statements that have been said by Daniel Gawe, suggesting that the issue of elections in 2028 should not be talked about. Something that I have just canvassed on the previous video, that Mnangagwa is deceiving the people of Zimbabwe, whilst his supporters are. I can tell you that Patrick Chinamasa cannot go to Mutare and did what he did without being instructed. He is definitely reading on the script. I was wondering why Patrick Chinamasa is all of a sudden so much on Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Of course, we know that there have been numerous attempts to his life, and obviously it can point to nobody else but Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. But he is so hell-determined to actually support Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Now also with the revelations that were made by the dossier presented by retired General Chiwenga at the Zanu PF Politburo meeting, that Patrick Chinamasa is part of the signatories of Zanu PF in Sakunda, owning about a stake of 45%. That is owned by Sakunda Holdings, a company which actually we didn't know about this until it was revealed through a dossier that this was started during the tenure of Zanu PF. Look at how these people are actually wise. They know that Zanu PF is hated. So if we put a front person, and also by then they knew that Zanu PF was under economic sanctions. Now, if we put a front person, who is this front person? Gudawashe Takwirei, to pretend to be an owner of this company, Sakunda Holdings, and then this we just have a stake there. This person knows that we've got 45% of the stake. Just imagine, Sakunda Holdings has monopolized the fuel industry in Zimbabwe, which means if you are driving a car in Zimbabwe, you have consumed fuel somewhere, somehow, that belongs to Sakunda Holdings. So, all along, this has been the fact. Now, I'm not on that today. I will come on that some other time, though I have given hints about the loopholes of this on its own. So now we know that, the claims that have been made by Gudawashe Takwirei that he's the best business person to have ever emerged from Zimbabwe and that he built Sakunda from scratch. So the dossier actually dispels all these lies that Gudawashe Takwirei was trying to actually propagate to the people through his programs that were cut short, especially when retired General Chiwenga decided to stand up against the men when they were attempting to bring him through the back door to the Zanu PF Central Committee meeting. So it is quite clear that as much as Gudawashe Takwirei, obviously we have seen strong opposition to him, as much as that exists, you can see that to Mnangagwa and his people, such as to the Patrick Chinamasas, they still carry out the task at hand, which is to see that Mnangagwa's interest of 2030 is achieved. If Mnangagwa is allowed and his Zikanandas to go up to conference, you may see this resolution may be resolution number 1 if he is not removed. It unfortunately, as much as it's difficult for me to say this, but that would be the reality, unless if he is removed. And I think he has shown beyond reasonable doubt that he cannot repent from this 2030 fiasco. Seeing Patrick, individuals like Patrick Chinamasa, Superman, the Wanziras, all these guys who are busy now speaking about 2030, even though Mnangagwa spoke about 2028, these are simply puppets. They read from the scripts. Some of them, for example, Superman Dwanzira, he was given a radio license, and that radio license can be easily revoked if he actually goes against Mnangagwa or goes against Zanu PF. That is how Zanu PF captures people. And this is what has to be dismantled if the country is to move forward. If I have business, if I have my hustles, it should be my hustles. Whether I don't like the government or what, I should be in a position to actually exhibit my talents, because it's my hard work, by the way. I should not succeed because if they see my successes, they come, they say, no, if you are not part of Zanu PF, we will make sure we take that away from you. That culture has to be actually dismantled, and I hope the next regime, of which I strongly believe it is coming through, will definitely dismantle these tendencies. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what? You become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members. The heartbeat of this channel, you can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okanqube Umhlabane is signing off. Do remember also to support my album on all digital platforms, your iTunes, Facebook, everywhere it is there. You can stream, you can even buy it, Amazon Music. Please kindly support it and share it with your loved ones.